Howdy travellers. So I forced myself to come out this afternoon. I'm feeling a bit still on the tired side, you know, but status update. My back pain is, knock on wood, a lot better, and my knee has stabilized. So anyway, I've come down here to get a bit of exercise. We'll call this out and about, but got a working subtitle of, I don't know, things ain't what they used to be. The good old days. The good old days, because funnily enough, today is a Sunday, and just this part of the beach, it don't look too bad. I'm going to cut in some B-roll today, but there's not too many people around. I came down here, I don't know, about 4 or 5 days ago, and it was absolutely jam-packed with people. And obviously there are a hell of a lot of people in town, mostly bloody Russians, but I'll save that for my Christmas rant. I'm already working on that. So anyway, let's carry on. Yeah, there's a nice bit of windmill action going on here, and I wish I could make my blooming flowers bloom like that. I bought exactly the same tree and put it in my garden, and it never flowers. Nothing will grow in that burned, cursed ground. Just the breath of the death is the only sound. Alice Cooper, thank you very much. So here we are in the food court area, and yeah, there's not so many people here today. It's not too bad, but I'm going back to, now my mind goes back to the COVID days when I used to walk around town, and I was certainly the only foreigner in sight, and there were precious few Thai people as well. The local government here, the mayor, decided that they wanted to cut the island off for quarantine purposes. So they gave 2 days notice that they were going to seal the island off from the rest of the country. And there was a mad rush for the exit. And in those 2 days, 40 to 50,000 people left the island. But, you know, it seemed like a ghost town at the time, I must be honest. But looking back on it, it was great. And I remember one day towards the end, when COVID was on the wane, things were just starting to open up, I was walking around Caron Beach, and I knew that it was on the cards that the tourists were going to come back. So I mused then that the day was going to come in the future when I would miss all this peace and quiet. But you have to, when these days are over and the place is chock-a-block with tourists again, it'll be great for a while, but if I'm here I'll be thinking back to these days with affection, I think. The days when I was the only white guy walking around. Oh yeah. And I was right. Because now it's not, it's nowhere near like peak season like it used to be, but compared to what it has been, it all seems rather crowded. You know, it's difficult to park your car anymore, and I don't really want to sit on the beach much because I'm just surrounded by Russians. Passing the big massage shop behind me, and I remember back in those days when I was one of the only people here, there was this old Falang that used to sit there underneath that awning all day. It was his little spot. Of course, he had to leave. Never seen him since, so I don't know whatever happened to him, whether he's still around or what, you know. So we'll see. But, I hope this isn't too jittery. I got my fancy Sigma 16mm ultra fast lens on here, and it's a fantastic lens, but it's not stabilized, so it will be a lot better after Christmas when I plan to get myself a gimbal for Christmas, and that'll be ideal for it. That's the plan anyway. Let's see how it goes. This walk will be about a mile that I'm doing today, so that's about all I want to do. I still got a little bit of pain in my back stroke hip. In the old days, I think you'd say it was lumbago, but no one ever talks about lumbago anymore. It's one of those complaints from my father's generation and my grandfather's generation. They've probably got much better, more fancy sounding names for it now. It was bloody backache in those days, sciatica. But I'm prone to it, and when I'm drinking alcohol, I'm much more prone to it, much more prone to a lot of pain. Then all the aches and pains come out. But anyway, I haven't had any alcohol for a month now, so I'm hoping that it kind of eases off. That was the plus point about having COVID like I did last month. By the time I managed to get out of bed again, I'd been alcohol free for 2 or 3 days, so I thought, well, I might as well carry on then. Simple as that, you know. And that made it easy for me. So I've just reached the end of the road. Drinking. I'm probably gonna have, you know, a couple of beers and a bottle of wine and whatever over the Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, maybe Boxing Day. But after that I'll stop again. You know, I'm not physically addicted to it. I'm only sort of psychologically addicted to it. I can stop. But anyway, you've got to have a reason to stop, and I've got about 10 different reasons, one of which is staying alive. So there we are. It's up to you, Graham. Anyway, now I'm coming to an interesting building. It's the roundabout out of town, and then there's this. Well, back in March, April, May of this year, I came down here, and this site was done up like a big Christmas box with a bow on the top. I have a photo, I'll cut it in here, and it said something along the lines of coming soon, our grand unboxing of our new business. Well, over the next few weeks and months and whatever, I rode past this spot and the box was never opened, and whatever was inside I think was never finished, and now you can just see the last remnants of the box, the black and white stripes, and whatever was inside is all been ripped down again, and they've started again. So the grand unboxing never happened. It's typical Thai style. So when it finally does open or something, it will be very interesting to see what it ends up being. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the bike now. That's my little walk and chat for today. So this will be called something like Out and About, with a subtitle of the good old days. Yeah, I much preferred it during COVID when I was the only guy in town. That's the message here. Anyway, from Patong Beach, cheerio.